Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we've got more doll furniture. Well, on last week's show, we made some doll chairs, and it was a fun project. We ended up with two different versions, both one with cabriolet legs and one without, and hopefully you took advantage of the free pattern for that on my website. But what is the point of having chairs unless you have a table to sit at? And that's what we're going to work at today. So I've designed a pattern which I think will work, and I think it's going to be fun and look good, and that's what we're going to play with. So let's head over to the bench, and I'm going to show you what this pattern looks like. Well, at the moment, this pattern is still in the test stages. It has never been made, so I don't know if it's going to work or not. What I've done is I've actually scaled off of my dining room chairs and my dining room table in order to get the proper proportions. And then what I've done is measured the chairs that we made on last week's show and made this table according to the proportions I got from my own dining room set. Bit of a runaround, I know, but hopefully it's going to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this circle piece right here. And for that, I'm going to find some 1/2-inch thick scrap. Well, over in the rack, I have found a scrap of 1/2-inch cherry, and I have cut our little circle pattern out here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to coat this piece of cherry in masking tape. Then we're going to use spray adhesive on the back of our circular pattern to attach it on top of the masking tape. As you've heard me say many times here on the show before, the masking tape is not necessary, but it will go a long way to prevent sticky residue when we remove the pattern from the stock. So we need to get that pattern attached, and once you have that attached, then we can head over to the drill press. Well, this little cross here in the middle of our pattern, this is actually an interior cut. We're going to cut it at the scroll saw, so over here, first off, we need to add a blade entry hole. So over here at the scroll saw, I've installed a number 3 blade in the scroll saw, which should be fine for 1/2-inch cherry. And we're going to cut this interior cut of the cross out of our circle. Once we get that done and we're happy with it, then we're going to cut the circle out itself. And that is that piece done. I've given it a light sanding, and as well, I've put a round over, a 1/8 round over all the way around. So we can remove the pattern, and hopefully once I get this removed, you'll be able to see that there is absolutely no residue or sticky gunk on the wood to have to contend with, because the masking tape does not leave residue behind. Spray adhesive, however, does. Now, truth be told, after cutting this cross section out, I wasn't happy with the performance of that number 3 blade. I changed it to a number 7, but partway through the cutting, I was noticing that the number 7 blade was veering away from the line way too much, no matter how much I tried to compensate. That is a sign of a twisted or damaged blade. And at that point, I removed it, scrapped the blade, installed another one, and carried on with the cutting, and it corrected the problem. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Blades on a scroll saw are consumables. Don't try to get extra use out of a blade or save using blades if you're getting poor results. Replace the blade and get the results that you want. So at this point in time now, with this piece finished, we need to get some 1/4-inch scrap out of the wood rack. Well, I've managed to find some scrap. It's actually scrap left over from making the chairs. So what we're going to do is the table leg pattern. We're going to cut them both out. We're first going to coat the stock with masking tape, then spray adhesive again to mount the patterns, and then get the patterns mounted onto our 1/4-inch thick stock. Now, guys, you just want to pay attention here that one edge of this pattern, I have it mounted on a flat edge of the board. The reason for that is this is going to be the base of the table, and the easiest way to get that base perfect and flat is to have your pattern start on a flat edge of the board. So I'm going to take this over to the scroll saw and I'm going to carefully cut it out. I don't really think that we need a full video of it, but I'm going to get these pieces cut and then I'm going to bring it back over here to the bench and show you what we end up with. The one thing you want to be careful of is you want to be careful with these inside little cutouts here in both the bottom and the top of each one of these pieces. These need to be as carefully cut as you can get them. They're not imperative, but you want to get them cut carefully. And they should be as wide as what your stock is thick. So in this case, it should be 1/4 inch thick. Now, while I have done my best to make the pattern accurate, different printers, different computers, different layouts, that sort of thing can change it. So just be careful that these are cut to the size that you need them, which in this case is 1/4 inch wide. And there are both of our leg pieces cut. Now guys, you've probably already figured out by now the assembly of the leg pieces, but they're basically slots that fit together just like this. And that is the legs or the pedestal of our table pretty much done. Now I have here some test engravings on some of this. It is scrap after all, but I'm not too concerned because I am considering painting the table. I know painting wood is not really my style, but that's just what I have in mind right now. So we're going to give this, both of these pieces a good sanding. Don't take too much off the thickness because that is going to change how these slots hold together. And then once we get that done, we can move on to cutting the tabletop. Well, it's now time to make the top, and I have some cherry here. It's 3/8 of an inch thick, which is actually thicker than I intended initially for this project, but I think it'll work. So just like I've done with every other piece, I've laid down masking tape and now used spray adhesive to mount this pattern. And I'm just going to take this over to the scroll saw and carefully cut it out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you get it as close as you can. Now, if you don't want to use a scroll saw, if you need it to be more perfect, you can always cut it on the table saw, whatever you like. But for me, it's going to be a scroll saw cutting. Now, other than sanding, the only thing I've done to this is I've put a 1/8 round over on both sides just to soften the edges. So what I want to do now is pick the bottom. Pick the bottom of our table, and we're going to draw lines corner to corner, not all the way. We don't need to do them all the way, but just a little bit in the middle. And the reason for that is that we need to center that circle that we made earlier onto the middle here. Now, this cross is made and designed to fit right over top of our table legs once they're assembled. That's its whole purpose. So what we need to do now is align this so that it's centered, but with that cross diagonal. You don't want it to be like this, flush on. The reason being is that if it goes this way, your legs will be facing out to the corners and your dolls can still sit into the table edges. If you put it this way, your table legs will be out to the middle and it's going to interfere with your chairs. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but use that cross that you just put there in the middle, line it up as best you can, and glue this in place, clamp it, and let it dry. Okay, so our table is dry. We're just going to unclamp this here. And let me just show you how this works, or how I hope it works. So your two table legs will get assembled just like this, which creates the table's pedestal. And then this cross section here fits right inside, just like that. And guys, you can either glue it together at this point if you want, or you can leave it like this so that it can be taken apart and stored. And then we can just bring our little doll chairs that we made last week on the show. And there you go, a cute little dining set for your dolls. And there you have it. doll furniture, or more specifically, the table to mate with last week's chairs. Guys, dead simple, a lot of fun. You can whip it off fairly quickly, and it's scrap material. I didn't have to mill any of the wood. It was all just scraps of things sitting on the rack. In some cases, the scraps left over from what we made the chairs out of. Guys, I don't want to toot my own horn, but this pattern is brilliant. I love the way that that cross that's cut into that circle, that half-inch thick circle, cradles around the pedestal, the table's pedestal, to hold it in place. And as I said, you can either glue that in and make it a permanent installation, or leave it loose for taking it apart and that sort of thing. And that way you can store it when the child's not playing with it. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it's amazing. I love this design. Initially, the tabletop was supposed to be 1/4 of an inch thick, but I couldn't find any 1/4 inch thick stock of scrap up in the rack that was big enough to house the table. So I had 3/8, and that's what I used. And honestly, I love the beefiness of the top of that table. I think it's very proportionate to the pedestal, and I think it looks good. And the more I look at it, the more I think that if I would have made it 1/4 inch thick, it might have looked a little off. But that is up to you. That is completely the maker's choice. So if you want to use a thinner stock, then by all means do it. If you use different stock for the pedestal, for the legs, keep in mind the width of that slot where the two pieces mate has to be as wide as what the material that you're using is thick. So if you want to modify that, you can. Just remember to change the width of the slot. Just do not change the length. The length has to remain the same, and the length is half the distance from the top to the bottom. And they alternate where the slots are. One's on the top, one's on the bottom. So when they meet in the middle, everything sits flush. Guys, just a great project, and honestly, a load of fun. And it's a perfect complement to last week's chairs. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you've enjoyed the content. We're going to take a break from doll furniture for now. I do have some more things planned for doll furniture, but I don't want to turn every week into a doll furniture show. So we're going to save those for down the road and revisit the project again. Either way, guys, if you haven't already, if you found any part of today's show interesting, likable, informative, or fun, why not like and subscribe to the channel? We have an amazing audience base, and I'm hoping that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. As with all the patterns that I make here for on the show, guys, it is available for free download on my website. You just want to visit acutabovewoodworkings.com, and right there you're going to find the photo of the finished product. You're going to find the PDF form pattern for free download, and as well you're going to find the tutorial video, which happens to be today's show. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the content. I hope you're going to take advantage of the free pattern and make some of these tables for the young ones in your life. But more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another woodworking video.